Hi, this is Lee Kaufman from the Marriage Recovery Center. I'm here today with Lenne as part of a video series that we're doing on healing together. And our particular topic today is on couples in conflict or conflicted couples where there's a difference of opinion on something that they're focused on in their relationship. And Lenne has a really apropos story about a couple, a visual from a painting that she knows and treasures that really accurately describes what a conflicted couple looks like visually.
Thanks, Lee. So before I kind of paint the picture in words for you, I want to say that almost always significant disagreement, significant conflict contains some element of emotion. These aren't just cognitive conflicts that we have. There's usually something that we feel that accompanies that. And that's what gets us to this painting I want to tell you about. It is really one of my favorites because of its story. And what you see in the painting is this very, very elderly couple. They've lived long lives with wrinkles and stooped with the way of that experience. And you can tell very clearly in the painting that they are married, have been married for forever and a day. There's that sense of familiarity, between them that comes with that. They are having on this particular day in the painting what everybody has in relationships occasionally. It's a day where they don't like each other very much. We've no idea what's happened, but that's what they're feeling, and it's all over their faces, this grumpy, I'd rather not see you today, kind of feeling. But they have somehow managed to get themselves to the park together, and they are sitting on the same park bench. There's optimism in that, I guess. But they're sitting on this bench at totally opposite ends with their backs turned to each other. Engaging, not engaging. And the central part in this story, the critical element, is that it's raining, which he must have had some heads up about because he's brought an umbrella with him. And he sits on his end of the bench with the umbrella open, and he's holding it in his fingertips, and he has stretched out his arm as far as it will go and leaned in kind of ever so slightly so he can reach just far enough to hold this umbrella over the head of his grumpy, I don't like you today wife. I love that story because it speaks to me about this idea that the emotion that we feel in conflict needs to be harnessed by something. And in this particular story, for them, it is harnessed by love. That even in the midst of the I don't like you today, he manages to choose to interact with her still out of his love for her, because love is what harnesses the emotion in the conflict. So that gets me to say that there's a relationship between the emotions that we feel in conflict and the goal of any particular conflict, any particular conversation that we have with people. If I'm going to be honest about myself, I'd have to own that not all of the conflicted conversations I have are really all that well motivated, that occasionally my flesh, my humanity gets the better of me, and what I want in that moment is not glorious. It's not about connection or resolution. It might just be about making you hurt because you hurt me, letting you feel the pain. I admit it. Yep. Not the best of goals for the conversation. A better goal would be that I actually want to resolve something with you. I want us to be on the same page. Or maybe the goal is that I want to reestablish connection with you, even through the conflict. It might be that I just want you to know what I feel. That could be the goal. Maybe it's not even about the resolution, but just finding my voice. or wanting to hear yours. So, tons of different goals that are sort of behind the conversations that we have. And those goals then become the things that harness the emotion of the moment. It's really, really important for couples to live with an awareness of what their goal is. And it's possible that the goal of the two people having the conversation might be different. But for the part that belongs to you, it's important that you live with some good awareness of what your goal is and what's harnessing that emotion today. Because there's going to be a consequence if it's not harnessed by anything. And Lee, this is where I want to come back to you because I think you've got some really valuable things to say about that concept of regulation.
Yeah, I taught yoga and meditation for 10 or 15 years. And so it's a constant practice of being aware of the biology and trying to regulate it. So the things that stand out to me about your story are, first, whether the emotion is getting in the way because you're dysregulated. And secondly, do you have, I use different language, but harnessed by, I think of as intention. What's your intention for the purpose of the conversation? So when I think about whether I can have a conversation, I first ask, am I regulated? Is my blood pressure low enough? Is my heart rate low enough? Am I not seeing red through anger where I can't actually see the nature of the dialogue openly and honestly? If I can get through that hurdle and I actually feel regulated enough to have a conversation, then I have to ask, secondly, do I have the right intention? Is it harnessed by something meaningful and purposeful, or am I just looking to hurt my partner? And then thirdly, I actually have to have enough awareness or empathy to the other person to see if they are capable and regulated to have that conversation.
Hmm.
And only when those three things line up do I feel comfortable having a healthy conversation, a healthy dialogue. Now, I realize that's not always possible for most people because you're living together and you're in conflict and you're having coffee at the dining room table and there's
Right.
nothing to do except try to figure out how to get through the day. And so when I think about what the role of Marriage Recovery Center is, I think that we're there as a mediator in those moments to be able to help that couple who may be at a stalemate, like a la the park bench visual.
Right.
They're together and they're committed to being together, but they don't really have anything productive to do other than just be together in that moment. And so we have a lovely group of people at the company who are capable of helping one to manage conflict and help you find easier pathways forward, but also to help you together and individually learn self-regulation techniques so that when you do show up to those conversations that are conflicted, which are inevitable, you'll have more skill, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we encourage you to call in especially if you feel that you're at a place where the relationship is not capable of moving forward in a healthy way and you don't know what else to do. It's really good at that point to get some objective feedback from people who work with people like you every day. So please call in. The numbers below. We have a large group of people with a ton of experience who can help.
And we also want to remind you, just sort of along those lines, that we offer an awful lot of free resources, especially by way of our YouTube channel. You can hear us talk about a variety of topics, and it also gives you a chance to get to know us a little bit better in the context of that. So if you just want to go on YouTube, look up Marriage Recovery Center, you'll see the big variety of things that you can spend your time with. We really want to thank you for joining us today. It's been our pleasure to kind of have this conversation and carry you along with us, and we hope to see you soon.